Welcome to Breaking Bitcoin, everybody. Recorded live for you here in the studio. It is Monday, October 21st, 2019, foul year of our Lord. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning in from, and whether you happen to be watching us from across the YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook Live, or on Roku with the Investor News Channel app. If you guys want to support the show, make sure to subscribe, follow, share, and engage in that lovely live chat that we have provided for you. And make sure, if you're watching us on YouTube, give us those thumbs up. Those are highly appreciated. All right, guys, we've got a fantastic show for you guys today. Hopefully you guys like the new lay of the land around here. It's not done. It's not fully completed, but I did make some changes that I wanted to make. I did get the new camera set up the way that I kind of wanted it. It's not 100% the way that I want it, but I'm pretty pleased with it so far. Now I don't have to utilize the green screen, which is a large concern off of mine, and I can really focus on the lighting here. But you guys didn't come here for the lighting. You guys came here for the market. So let's break that down. Obviously, a very interesting morning today. Before we begin, I do want to mention that today's episode is brought to you by the Kraken Cryptocurrency Premium Trading Group. If you are a new, experienced, or aspiring trader, make sure to follow the banner at the top of the screen and head on over to premium.krakencryptocurrency.com to see all that the group can do for you. We just recently released the newest module of our Pathways to Profit strategy building course, so I'm really eager to get some feedback on that and see how the guys are progressing with it. But the beta testing went quite well, and I'm really quite excited to keep chucking this train right on along this factory that we have developed of bringing in traders and spitting out consistently profitable traders. It is a joy and a pleasure. All right, now, the other thing is San Francisco Blockchain Week is literally a week away. In less than 1 week, I'm going to be stepping onto a plane, as will the rest of my team, heading on down to San Francisco for the Blockchain Week event. October 27th through November the 2nd is when we'll be down there. Now, actually pretty excited. We do have some nice interviews that are starting to get lined up. So a big shout out to the team for helping out with that as well. We'll be down there. The entire team will be down there. So if you do want to attend San Francisco Blockchain Week and meet up with us, we are going to be doing an event on, I believe it's Wednesday. We haven't smoothed out all the details yet, but all the Kraken Cryptocurrency community members who want to attend will have all the details for that in the Discord, and just kind of getting everything smoothed out with everybody's schedule. But we've decided to go ahead and do it because there's going to be a good number of people attending. So I'm excited to hang out with you guys and have such a fantastic time there at San Francisco. Also, if you guys want to attend, if you haven't picked up your ticket yet, there is a link down in the description and you want to use that link. That link will save you 15% off your ticket purchase. With that being said, let's hop on over into the markets and break things down. Actually, I want to thank this month's Crypto Comment giveaway sponsor, which is Spectre Security Coin. So let's check them out at spectresecurity.io, but let's go give away some cryptocurrency. I knew it would look a little funny. Let's just do it over here in the main show. And there we go. Okay, so not exactly how I want it. Just a second, guys. I was making some changes to OBS this morning. So we will boom and yeah, there we go. Cool, here we are here. And let's go give away some cryptocurrency, guys. All right, I had yesterday's Earl pulled up, but it seems like I'm gonna have to go grab it again. It's cool, it's right here. Boom. All right, so 21 potential winners. Thank you guys for all the comments. Highly appreciated. Let's randomly pick a winner. And it is Sebastian Dreher. He says, very true. Thank you for putting out this. The bull is running out in short time. Sebastian Dreher, thank you so much for the comment, my good friend. I've never seen you in the comment section before. Make sure to hit me up in the Discord at discord.krakencryptocurrency.com. I am Justin Wise, hashtag 5696, and I will tip you some crypto, my good friend. All right, getting right into the markets, guys. Let me know how you guys are doing in the chat. All right. Good. I think we got a nice little setup here. Everything looks pretty good. Everything's working. Who do we got in here this fine, illustrious morning? We got Saintsy. What's up, my friend? Ruben. We got Goblin Moblin. Mr. Hut QC says, just did your lesson 401. Great work. Can't wait to get into more strategy testing and coding. Myself either. Spartacus. Cornish Trader. Jessica S. Mass Dash. Good to see you guys in the chat. All right, so let's talk about the most... preface first. So I've decided to have some I don't know if fun is the right word, but I just want to showcase to you guys some different examples. Because you guys come in here every single day and we hang out and we talk about the market. We focus on risk management. We focus on strategy. But one of the things that's become more and more of an issue as we get more and more members in, as we continue to do the live scene. So something that is an issue is people coming in and getting inundated with the questions of, hey, what are the parameters that you're using on your indicators? Right? I get that question at least 10 to 15 times a day. And listen, I know you guys are just trying to do your absolute best with trading. And I know that you guys are here because you love the content. I know you guys love the statistical and strategic and non-emotional approach to the market, the way that we break things down, the way that we trade, and the way that we build up traders through our course, the way that we build up traders to achieve the good results that they want with back testing, with discipline, with consistency, with risk management. Those are the topics that we focus on, and you'll hear things on this channel that you will not hear everywhere else. You won't see pretty trend lines on this channel. You won't see, pretty levels of support and resistance. You won't see any of that nonsense. You won't hear me ever say falling wedge unless I'm making fun of a falling wedge. You will hear me give you my analysis of the market and the best data-driven facts that I can. But I continually get the question of what are the settings for your indicator? And the problem with that question is that when you ask that, you are asking to not do the work yourself. You have to do the back testing on your own. So what I'm going to start showcasing is different types of P2P systems that you can utilize in your own trading. And for this, and what's going to be funny about this is that the systems that I'm actually going to showcase are actually really, really good systems. I'm just going to be showing systems that I've traded with, that other people are using, and you guys can kind of fit the pieces together for yourself. And of course, I'll be here to answer questions. So today we're going to be using Minx as a line cross indicator. We're going to be using CCI, and we're going to be using Wadatar Explosion, its volatility function. And interestingly enough, this is the exact same indicator suite that I utilized last night when I published the fourth module of Pathways to Profit. So we're going to utilize this to get a good example of how a good systemic trading system. Now I have, of course, added the 30-period baseline Donchian. And of course, we're never going to shy away from what's going on in the market right now. Anyways. So on the daily time frame, we have a couple interesting things. On the daily time frame yesterday, Gabriel, all the best to you, my good friend. Good to see you in the chat. So yesterday, I did actually keep my short open. We have Minx. This is a smoothed Minx, but I did keep my short open yesterday. I had a lot of people wondering why I kept my short open actually, and the answer is quite simple, because I didn't get an exit signal. We are in a dominant bearish trend, and we are just ranging up to the upside. I was kind of expecting to see. I don't say I was expecting, but I wasn't surprised to see a fairly high volatile movement happen to the upside, especially overnight while I'm sleeping. Largely because you can see, if you look at order flow, you can see all the aggressive market selling that was occurring pretty much throughout all this level. There was a wide delta. There was a wide delta between market buying and market selling. I mean, over 250%. At many, many times, if you guys go look at the different daily breakdowns of order flow. And what that indicates is that there's very aggressive selling going on in this area. And when you have aggressive selling, when you have aggressive market initiation to the downside, yet you don't see any movement of price, you have to ask yourself, who is absorbing that order flow? Well, it's an iceberg order. Not iceberg order is a little bit different. Iceberg order is something that you have somebody tests the market depth. A large trader tests the market depth by initiating a large market sell and seeing if he can break through all levels and drive price down in the direction that he wants, because he's trying to initiate panic in the other sellers, or at least initiation to sell, moving price ultimately in his direction because he would have sold price down. Or he's trying to test the depth of the order book so that he can dive down to his limit buy orders. It's possible. If you have a significant amount of limit buy orders in an area of liquidity, and then you drive price down, if you're a large trader, and you drive price down with aggressive market sells, and you get other traders to capitulate and sell into your limit bids, well, you've gotten a very attractive entry, and you've also exhausted the current selling pressure, and then price moves back up. Anyways, that's a little bit more order flow related trading. It's a little bit more stuff that Bennett focuses on, but it's just, it's a good concept and interesting. And maybe I spent a lot of time over the weekends talking with a few order flow traders, so it's possible that it's it's going to be difficult to get that out of my system for a couple of days. But just a reactionary movement off the bottom so far, and we need look no further than the lower time frames to see that happen. So we were just live chatting this morning. The team. We were going over everything for the week, and what did we see? We saw a massive, what looked like a breakout on the hourly time frame, right here on the 1500 hour chart. Of course, this is regular UTC time. Just about 2 hours ago, and we saw price spike up massively to the upside. Got a lot of people excited to long that price. Of course, that wasn't a good movement. The same thing on the hourly time frame right here. We don't have any signal to go long. Look at what Minx is telling us at this point in time. Minx crossed back over here at 2300, so about 11 o'clock last night UTC time, and at no point did it ever tell you to go long. Now, interestingly enough, it would be difficult to catch this short unless you were reversal trading this or potentially reversion of the mean, but I highly doubt. And the only way to have caught this particular trade, to have taken trade to the downside, is if you were the institutional order flow, if you were the large order flow that moved the market, or if you were trading raw reversals. So if you were placing your stop loss right above this previous high and you were looking for a range sweep, if you were looking for a sweep of that high, which is price action trading, and has mixed results, typically not that good for most people that try to trade consistently price action trading. But that is one way that one would have captured this trade. It's pretty much the only way. This is not a trending trade. This was a straight reversal trade. This was a grab for liquidity, and then price moves to the downside. Now, interestingly enough, here on the hourly time frame, here was your trade over here. Right here was your trade at 1400. This was your trade right here. We can see that Minx is above, CCI is above, and also Wadatar Explosion gives you the go-ahead down here at the bottom with the yellow line. So everybody in the group is going to understand this really, really well. So here's your initiation right here, and this would have got you in for all of this trending movement to the upside. There was your nice hourly signal. Entry right here, right around, what did this candle close at? 80.12, so right around 8,012. It would have gotten a market entry right there. Very little slippage on ByBit. And taking price to the upside, you would have had a maximum profit potential of 83.17. It's where price ended up running up to. If you would have held the trade, obviously you would have been able to squeak out a few more dollars, 83.56. But again, I don't think an extra $30. I don't think an extra $30 would have done. A whole lot of difference for you in this trade. But again, that was the trade. The trade was looking at the lower time frames. The trade was the long to the upside. There was a nice trending long there. All signals fired. On the daily, you would still be short. Dominant position is still at the downside. But if you're using an alternative account to take lower time frame longs, or if your strategy or time frame is on the lower time frames, then that's what you'd be looking at. Now, on the hourly here, assuming that you are using a baseline, you're not allowed to short just yet. On the hourly. We do have, of course, Minx is below the zero line. So we are looking for shorts. CCI has gone below the zero line here as well. So now we have confirmation to take shorts, and we do have volatility as well. We do have volatility expanding to the downside. Now we are above the baseline. So if you're using a baseline filter, you're not allowed to short just yet. You do need to see price down below 81.51. But the first hourly candle that you see close below there, you would be looking to aggressively market short that movement. What you'd probably be looking for right now intraday is a reversal baseline long. But a reversal baseline bounce long to the upside. That would be the statistical setup here. However, I feel fairly unconfident about that, again, because where do trends come into the market? With a lot of volume. And you just saw a large amount of volume come into the market. High volatility precedes low volatility precedes high volatility. And we just saw an extended period of low volatility. We saw about 24 hours of low volatility after some decent volatility to the upside. So again, we can see low volatility over here, which led to this expansion, and low volatility here, which I assume will lead to this expansion as well. Full confirmation would come on the closure below 81.51. And of course, on the daily, you never would have wanted to exit your short. Now, if Minx closes the way that it's closing right now, that will be an exit signal. We do see that CCI is attempting to close above zero. We do see that Minx is attempting to close above the noise line as well, which would be exit signals. So again, that would be good, especially if we can get some good initiation to the downside. That's either going to invalidate that exit signal, or it's going to not invalidate the exit signal, but still allow us to exit at either break even, depending on where one would have taken the short. Because again, we do have a consistent signaling for shorting either on this candle or on this candle, depending on the system that you're using. So you're likely in a little bit of drawdown if you would have taken the last momentum short, the last momentum trending short on Bitcoin. So looking for this candle to give you some more drawdown. So either the system tells you to exit and you can get out at break even or a slight loss. Or we have some more aggressive market selling in addition to what we just saw, and which is actually what I would be expecting here moving forward through the day. And we can either keep the trade open or, again, as I said, exit at a slight loss, a slight gain, or break even, which is exactly what we want. All of our trades, we want to be fitting into one of three categories, right? Or excuse me, one of four categories. There's 5 things that can really happen because you can break even. But when you enter into a trade, you can either have a big win, a small win, you can have a small loss, a big loss, or a break-even trade. And the biggest thing that you can do when you're looking at trading the market in a statistical fashion or having a statistical edge is not your first step should really not be maximizing your big wins. Those just come with time. Those just come with trading in the right direction of the market. The wins just happen. You never know when you put on a trade if this is going to be the big winner or not. That is almost a coin flip. But when you enter into the right trades consistently, time after time after time after time after time, you will have those trades. And it is those trades that make a significant improvement to your P&L at the end of the month. But the more significant thing potentially is reducing those big losses. If you can just prevent yourself from taking big losses, that is going to make the biggest difference to your profitability. Because again, you will have big wins simply by trading in the right direction of the market consistently, time over time. But the biggest thing that you can do is prevent those big losses, either through position sizing or through filtration of your bad signals. And that is what we do. We do both. Now, later on, we're going to be talking about Libra. We're also going to be talking about Bitfinex. We're going to be talking about XRP a little bit. And we're going to be talking about the United States and crypto because, the United States is really feeling the squeeze. Regulation, a lot of exchanges leaving, not a lot of access to exchanges to trade on, not a lot of access to liquidity, not a whole lot of access to coin selection, for example. And that brings up a really good point. We're constantly on this channel talking about the necessity of using a VPN. We're constantly on this channel talking about the necessity to protect your personal privacy. And this, I think it really hammers it home if you're an American cryptocurrency trader, because here's the reality. The reality is, due to laws that are not there to protect traders, but are there to protect the financial interest of large institutions or banks, you, if you're sitting in America, as I am, are not allowed legally to have access to a lot of the opportunities that a trader sitting over in the UK has, or a trader sitting over in the Philippines has, or a trader sitting over in Germany has, for example, right? Traders in America are really restricted due to really poor thought reactionary regulation and malfeasance, honestly, in the regulation arena. And so what this often means for many traders is that they are forced to do something either gray area legality or straight up not legal, just to be able to have the same access to liquidity, the same access to leverage, the same access to markets, the same access to coin selection that somebody just simply in a different geographical location has. And this is I think the reason that I bring this up is to highlight the point of the real novel selling points of Bitcoin. Everybody gets caught up in its investment, attractiveness as an investment, and all of that's fine. But people talk about again, I've made this argument over and over and over again, and I feel like I continually am being pushed into the minority here. I feel like at times I'm one of the few people out there who are arguing for the store of value use case for Bitcoin. I am actively almost to the point of arguing against its use as buy your coffee with this. I am completely against that. If you can buy coffee with Bitcoin, so much the better. That's amazing. But I don't care about that. I'm not buying my coffee with Bitcoin. I'm using Bitcoin for several reasons. It's unconfiscatable. It is a hedge against the traditional fiat markets. It is a hedge, or I'd say a hedge right along with the qualities of precious metal, gold and silver. But again, we can talk about their sustainability as well. And I am invested in gold and silver, as well as stocks, as well as real estate. So again, diversity is the spice of life. But my whole point here is Bitcoin is unconfiscatable, and I can send it to whoever or whomever I want. So the reality is Bitcoin is, and it's non-censorable because it's not centrally controlled. So in that same realm of American traders being sometimes forced to pursue gray area legality or black market legality, and not to do anything wrong or immoral, but simply to get access to the leverage or simply to get access to the coin selection that they otherwise would not be able to. So we're talking generally this falls into the realm of violating the terms of service of an exchange, which again is generally not illegal in America. It's just it can get you kicked off of the exchange. So for example, utilizing ByBit with a VPN, it falls into that realm. It's not illegal in the United States. It is against ByBit's terms of service. Accessing Binance, regular Binance.com with a VPN, not illegal in the United States, against Binance terms of service, can get you kicked off of Binance. So, but then again, you just do the whole, if anybody is familiar with, just a second here, let me see if I still have the, if anybody's familiar with the BitMEX VPN shuffle, you guys know what I'm talking about. So, Bitcoin is that one thing that's just like, or how do I put this in a way without getting kind of off the rails here? Bitcoin allows you to make those gray area transactions to support those causes that you might, that might. Okay, here's a better way. This is the value proposition for Bitcoin. You do not know what the government's going to make illegal tomorrow. That's the danger. The government has fiat authority over what they control. They have control of the courts, and they have control over men with guns and weapons to come over to your house and beat you up if you don't follow the law. So you never know what the government's going to make illegal tomorrow. So having an asset that is unconfiscatable, especially as we move further and further into the realm of negative interest rates, where, we have no idea what the government will do. We have seen governments do completely irrational, immoral, malfeasant things when pressed up against the wall. And with large majorities of the world calling for a movement away from the United States dollar as the world reserve currency, and with that being an absolute possibility in the next 20 to 30 to 50 years, you have to start making plans to hedge against this. You have to start making plans against this. And Bitcoin is that one of those few asset classes that has the use case, that has the tech, that has the support, that is decentralized enough to make it very, very difficult to shut down. And that's my value proposition for Bitcoin. I have no idea what the government's going to make illegal tomorrow to support with dollars. And if I hold on to some Bitcoin, I know that I'll be able to support my causes or buy what I want, no matter what. Moving on. Okay, so we're back on the daily. Again, as I said, just to recap here, if the daily closes the way that it is, I'd be looking to exit my position. There's nothing here whatsoever to justify a long whatsoever. And really, I would like to hold this position open. But again, I will listen to my indicator, because if I do miss out on one day and then price does end up breaking to the downside, I'm always going to be looking for that breakdown trade. But at the end of the day, I have to listen to the system and do what the system tells me. Now, let's go back to the hourly. We are getting a little bit of a reaction off of the baseline here. We'll go and take a look at some other markets here in a little bit. But just, really interesting to see this movement. Here it is on the 15-minute time frame. And just this big movement to the upside, just this big, fake out move to the upside, 1.34%. Price moved $110. Took out our previous swing high right here and just absolutely collapsed. And I remember the live chat that I was just in this morning as we were going over getting ready for the show, and we were kind of getting ready for, we always meet as a team Monday mornings to kind of get back on base and get the whole team optimized. And, a couple of guys were getting excited, man, look at this breakout. Patience, man, patience. Shout out to Midwest Attempts for the first one to say patience in the live chat this morning. Answering a couple questions in the chat. 100 Killamika. You get access to Minx, Quadrigo average true range, which is not, actually it's right here. Quadrigo average true range, just my stop and target system. Get access to the baseline indicator, Fisher transform, time transformation. Parallax, which is coming very, very soon. And Volatility Expander, which is also coming soon. I wanted to do some work on PTP. All the information's at premium.krakencryptocurrency.com, my good friend. And just to clarify, Farbot as well, this baseline is a 30-period Donchian, not the 13 exponential moving average. Let's take a look at BSV. Ooh, we're drinking the BSV Kool-Aid today. Let's go. We'll look at BSV over on ye old Finexico. Big move into the upside right over here at about 10 o'clock this morning UTC time. All right, on the daily. Let's take a look. So non-baseline signal. We are looking here. Nope, here. Right here back on the 15th, 2019. One could have taken that long. If you're using the baseline filter, then we are looking for a long right now. You have rising volatility. Wadatar explosion is giving you rising volatility. CCI is positive. It is in the bullish control zone. It is above the zero line. Minx is above the noise line because we are utilizing Minx as a line cross indicator for this example. And I think we'll probably keep this like this for a couple weeks. I quite like this. And this gives a good example. And we'll use the 30-period Donchian. So I don't want to come on here every single day and like switch out indicators because then we will be getting different signals. But I want to inspire and incentivize you guys to take what I teach you and do the work. You know, and not focus so much on what settings are my indicators. With a big liquidity grab like that, is big money unloading spot or loading up on shorts? Both, none of the above. Well, typically, well, I mean, it depends on both. Like, obviously, it takes spot selling to move the spot markets, and it takes future selling to move the futures markets, and they tend to move in sync with each other. But again, yeah, there is very, very, very aggressive selling. There is very aggressive selling going on right now. As I said, over the last, pretty much over the, you know, not just over the weekend, but over the last week, really, there has been an enormous negative delta between market buying and market selling. Sometimes up to 250%, sometimes more. And that just, if you actually start going in and looking at the individual order blocks, which you don't have to, it just helps add a little bit of nuance. And again, that data can be misinterpreted and misrepresented. So I want to caution you guys away from pure order flow trading. Obviously, I don't do pure order flow trading. And I don't really look at it, you know, in confluence with what I do because I don't think it's necessary. I don't really think the information that we get is 100% accurate, but to base that off of. But at the end of the day, very, very, very aggressive selling. It is concerning, yes. If I had to speculate, I would say both. But again, doesn't really matter. The indicators tell us which way price is going to move, and we trade in that direction. BSV USD over on Finex, giving us a long signal. Let's take a look and see. Now, we are above the trade qualifier. So if you wanted to take this trade, I would be using half risk. I'd be using half risk on this because we are above the trade qualifier. And perhaps you might not want to take the trade whatsoever. Cryptocurrency, unlike other assets, does have a tendency to run. So if you reduce your risk on these trades, the upside can be worth it. Shout out to 131 people watching over there on YouTube. Highly appreciated. Who do we got over on Twitch? Cool. Thank you guys so much for watching over there as well. So let's look at targets for BSV USD here. If you enter the trade, if we are sitting around right where we are right now, so let's actually go to, let's use 1.5 risk. So you'd be looking at no more than 16% of your equity in this trade. This is going to be a spot position, but you can also use margin as well to reduce your counterparty risk. You'd be looking at potentially taking price up to about 112, 118.70, and 125.50, give or take. Stop loss pretty much right below the bottom of this candle. It's not the, you know, honestly, it's not subjective. Well, it doesn't really matter. It's the best possible placement based on the system. Let's see here. And based on based on volatility, I'd say that's a fairly safe stop loss. This is a fairly outlier candle. Volatility's been quite low recently. Volatility's been quite low recently. We do have some expanding volatility here. We are able to get into the short over here on BSV-USD and catch this massive candle right here. Quite nice. Yep, that is a confirmed PTP trade. And potentially even over here. No. Nope, yep, right here on this candle. The candle that opened on the 23rd of 2019. Hey, Colin, welcome to the channel, man. Thanks for the sub. I'm not getting any, maybe it's just me. I did switch things around, so it's possible that I'm not getting alerts. Mr. Hut QC, thanks so much for the 7-month resub, my man. Sorry I missed you 27 minutes ago. Much love, my brother. Says, keep going, my man. You too, man. You keep on trucking, brother. Where is, oh, I know why. I kind of chunked that down. Crypto Rick asks, hey, Justin, how long did it take you to become a consistently profitable trader? The correct answer to that is about 3 years. That's because I didn't have anybody to teach me. I didn't have anybody to teach me. I figured out pretty much everything that I know, everything that I do on my own and by my own. I read a lot of books. I studied a lot. I made a lot of mistakes, a ton of mistakes, a lot of bashing my head against the wall. Found a mentor. He really helped accelerate the process in the last year. I was already pretty much profitable, but I was trading price action at that point in time. And although he mentored me in price action, I was the one that made the switch to indicator-based trading on my own. You know, when I started this channel, I talked about a lot of different stuff. I talked about price action. I talked about support and resistance. I talked about supply and demand because it was kind of difficult for me to encapsulate or explain like how I trade. I wasn't exactly sure how to do that. And then I came up with, I figured out, well, it took a lot of time just working with my students and figuring out, okay, cool. All the stuff that I'm already teaching you guys, I can just develop into a course so that this is more systemic and laid out. And, you know, it's been quite a long journey and it's evolving all the time, but that was what became Pathways to Profit. And that is what right now is the core trading strategy of, well, based on the students that I've mentored, I know at least 600 people actively right now for people that have come in and out of the group. So, and the people that I communicate with. So this is good. Let's see here. The other question is, what would you say is a respectable return to achieve per month or year trading BTC sensibly? So again, I don't want to throw ridiculous numbers at you guys, but you guys can go to currentresults.krakencryptocurrency.com or results.krakencryptocurrency.com. You can see all of our all the trading results, and those are mine. Those are my trades. You can see the other analyst trades on there as well. That's something we recently started publishing. So, like for example, there are months in this year that we have returned anywhere from 30 to 50% of our equity, of our actual equity, and that's through patient, disciplined, daily time frame trades, proper position sizing, and reducing losses. The volatility is absolutely there in cryptocurrency. You don't have to take insane risk to achieve those gains. I don't like people getting those, you know, crazy good ideas because we've been doing this for a long time, and we do this as a team. And that is, I think, the strength of the group. But those gains are absolutely possible. Now, realistically, what is the average return of the market? It used to be 11%. Nowadays, it's more. Well, nowadays the average is considered 9%. In reality, if you just throw your money in the stock market, it's about 7%. So if you are pulling in double digits returns per year, you are already beating the market, meaning you're already outperforming the market. You can pull in 15% per year, and you can get funded and you can trade. If you're pulling in 20 to 30% a year, well, 20% I'd say is a pretty good trader. 30% is an extremely good trader. It's a well-disciplined, highly optimized trader. We've done more than that. We've done that in a month. And that's because of the unique opportunities the cryptocurrency allow us with this high volatility and with the kind of plethora of coins that we have to trade. You have to be, you know, you have to alter your strategy a little bit from something like Forex or stocks. And that's what we focus on teaching people. But again, the opportunities are absolutely there. But if you are able to pull in 3 to 5% per month, which I think is absolutely possible on a consistent basis, I think you can absolutely get there within 6 months. If you apply yourself, I think you can get there within a year if you struggle a little bit more. And again, you should focus on the consistent results, not the P&L. You should focus on the consistent results. You should you should focus on the consistent results, not how much money you're getting in the first 6 months to a year. You should be looking at the percentages, because the amount of money doesn't matter. The percentages matter. If you're able to pull in 3 to 5% consistently like clockwork every single month, or averaged out every single year, you will have no problem getting funded. You'll have no problem getting funded if that is the choice, if that is the route that you want to go. Assuming you don't want to go this route, because again, this channel is for everybody. This channel is for people who want to be professional traders. This channel is also for people who want to be. This channel is also for people who want to manage their own retirement fund, or manage a friends and family fund, or anything like that. Rio Jat, so I thank you so much for joining, my friend. No problem, 100 Kilomika. Mud says, it is evolving very well, I may say. What's up, my man? Got a CCOG in the house, as well as blockchain gains. What's good, my friend? Up to what daily close would you still be short? So there's no price level. So if price hits my stop loss, that's it. I won't exit the trade intraday. There's nothing intraday that could happen to make me exit a daily trade. Blockchain gains. I remember early days, just mass stashing your daughter. Yeah, man, you were here in the beginning, brother. We've come a long way, dude. We've had a lot of fun on this road. Why have I changed from the 13 EMA baseline? So the reason I changed for the show is because the 30 period Donchian, I think, is probably going to be a better baseline for beginners, because it's not going to be as active or frequent. You know, using a very sensitive baseline, so something like the 13 EMA or like the 20 Hall moving average, which is pretty popular as well. A lot of traders in the group use the 20 period Hall moving average. I would say when you use a very sensitive baseline, you can frequently be pushed in and kicked out of trades if you're using a baseline. We have some people that don't, and that's fine. A few other CCOGs too. Hell yeah. Please show BNB. Let's do it. Let's look at BNB Tether. BNB Tether doesn't look too unhealthy. We are looking for longs on BNB. Let's see here. In fact, you could have gone long on this candle right here. No, excuse me, yesterday's candle. You could have gone long on yesterday's candle. We did not. We did not go long on yesterday's candle, and we're having a little bit of drawdown, but you are above the baseline. Minx is above noise. CCI is above. Everything's bullish, and you do have volatility coming into the market. You do have some expanding volatility. If we look down here at Wadatar Explosion, we do have a rising explosion level on yesterday's close. So right now, let's say, so I would view this as an opportunity to re-enter longs at this point in time. If one's looking at BNB, I think BNB is actually holding up pretty well. And actually, I'm pretty impressed. You know, altcoins for the most part, I'm going to go over here and look at crypto bubbles. Wow, look at that. MDAB up 2,841%. Okay. Well, that's just going to be taking over everything. Crypto bubbles, if you're watching, you need an I need an option here to be like, get this big ass bubble out of my way. We can look at price. Yeah, crypto bubbles is going to be unhelpful with that big ass bubble in the way. Oh, man. Anyways, but altcoins for the most part holding their own, and that's actually pretty positive. I don't think that this wasn't a huge movement. Bitcoin didn't break down or anything from a massive level of support. We traded up closer to the top of the range, and market sold back down. We're about the mid-range. We're about at the mid-range of the. We're about at the mid-range of the. What's the word I'm looking for? We're at the mid-range of the trading channel, anyways, of the range that we're trading in with Bitcoin. So. Altcoins holding their own quite well. I don't think it's the death knell for altcoins. I'm still pretty positive on a lot of altcoins and still actively looking for trades to the upside on a lot of these altcoins. And again, I don't really need to look at anything like Bitcoin dominance or anything like that to justify the position. The technicals are all that you need. But again, looking at things like Bitcoin dominance can help. Let's stay on BNB. Let's stay on BNB actually here and give you some targets actually. So if we were looking to kind of enter into a long, kind of almost like a reversal baseline bounce long on this particular, I would be long on this until we close below 1762. And I'd be looking for upside of about 1927. $20.34, $21.42, right around in there. And again, kind of getting a lower entry price and lower risk to reward. Stop loss around $16.60. All right. So let's go look at Bitcoin fundamentals. And let's go look at Bitcoin dominance. If you like Bitcoin dominance, because it is in a bearish trend, which means you should trade them altcoins, because you know it makes sense. Dun, 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 dun. Somebody record that. Put that on a t-shirt, man. Every time I'm watching this show, I thank God, because YouTube is still free. It is still free. I don't know why old Block Network pumped up like that. I'm sure there's going to be some news coming out about it. Let's actually let's head over to good old coinmarketcap.com and do our due diligence. MDAB. Block platform token. All right. The Block platform aims to provide a high quality and standardized impact investment fund service. Its goal is to enable investors to have the opportunity to invest in established impact investment funds to achieve returns and help the community at large. The platform claims that it will join forces with a number of institutions to launch multiple funds on the platform, e.g. Bamboo Capital Partners. No data. They're on the Binance DEX. Okay. Uh-huh. Sorry. Music's back now. Yeah, I fixed it. Sorry about that, guys. When I unmuted my mic, I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, and here come the texts. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. Hey, Vaughn. Yeah, I just fixed it. Thank you, brother. Bye. All right, sorry about that. We will start the new waves. Silent streaming. Yeah, there you go, guys. You know, kind of like make up your own advice. Kind of like make up your own idea. All right, so I'm not exactly sure where the audio cut off there. So we'll just backtrack a little bit. So the first thing that I did was I answered Roy X's question that he just reposted in the chat. He says, does anyone know what the price of Bitcoin will be on October 31st? The answer is no. Nobody has an idea. Nobody knows. The other thing about this, will it stay 8120 or will it go down? I do have a bearish sentiment on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's price reminds me of Pong from the... Thanks, Ricky Thompson. And then I believe we talked about... So I was talking about longs and shorts here. So let's talk about longs and shorts. So longs, there's currently about $213,500,000 in Bitcoin longs at the current moment. And this has been relatively stable. We do, longs are in somewhat of a downtrend, but again, they're tracking the price of Bitcoin pretty well at this point in time. And if we look at shorts, we do have an expulsion of shorts right now. So we have a lot of let's actually get a little bit closer in this and see when the profit taking occurred. It really occurred pretty much right on that candle. Short started exiting right on that big movement to the downside. So if you are looking at this would potentially be a bullish signal to you. Again, if we look at longs on the higher time frames, we're not breaking out of a bullish trend. We don't see a massive amount of longs come in. This looks fairly speculative to me. Now, longs are holding the ground. One can argue about, how well they're tracking this range right here. But again, the long to shorts ratio has been out of skew. So we can just see from that there's a lot more longs than there is shorts. And it's been like that for a while. And this move into the upside is not necessarily people putting on longs, perhaps. But what this is this is shorts exiting out of that position, which again can also be considered a bullish sign. Again, now we're using, what's the word I'm looking for here? We're using fundamental factors to break down the price of Bitcoin or look at the price of Bitcoin. When again, we can just look at the technicals. And the technicals, to be quite frank with you, if we go look at the price of Bitcoin, is rangy, choppy consolidation. Rangy, choppy consolidation. We've come down to the bottom of the range. We've tested it. We've bounced up to the top. We've weakened this bottom of the range multiple times. We've only tested the top twice. And we weren't even, let's delve into the realm of price action here just a little bit, guys. What have we done here? We've just formed a lower high. If we do turnover right here, we've just formed a lower high. So this is not looking very positive to the upside. And again, can we break out of this range? Can we just have some massive big movements to the upside? Yeah, sure. I've talked about this before. Right now, all we need to do is get up to 8,900 with some volatility. And I'll potentially take a long below the baseline. But again, 8,900 is where the baseline's sitting at. If we have two nice big candles to the upside and we're going to start establishing a nice bullish trend here, like I said last week, if we breach 8,900, I'm going to be pretty bullish for higher prices on Bitcoin, as in higher than 13,900 where we topped out. Higher prices. 14, 15, 16,000 comes around there pretty nicely. And again, so do I need to over obsess and freak out about catching the movement from 8 to 9,000? No, I don't. I just need to worry about catching the movement from 9,000 to a higher price, wherever price will top out. But right now, treacherous. So that's why, in my opinion, you hold the dominant position. You hold the dominant position. You take your other positions because altcoins are holding fairly strongly, and they will continue to perform strongly as long as Bitcoin moves in its range. We've had a pretty volatile movement, but honestly, when you zoom out to the daily, nothing really exciting happened. Look at that. It was a 1% movement. Now, it happened in the course of an hour, but can you please take a look at DOC USDT or the Bitcoin chart? Yeah, sure, man. Let's go look at DOC. Let's see if we can't get DOC. We'll just look at DOC USD calculated by TradingView, so we can actually see how well it's holding its value. Now, we do got a big explosion up here, but again, overall, this is pretty positive, man. You know, and I'll be honest with you, man. I like trading DOC. I've had some really, really good trades on DOC. You know, it's one of those really low sat shit coins, and it's probably generated like 5 or 6 really good trades, but they were really, really good trades. And then the rest of the time, it's just garbage and nonsense. And if you're looking at this with trending signals, then you're going to find that. Then you're going to find those signals. But we are above the baseline. Minx is above the noise line. CCI is above the zero line, and we do have rising volatility. So again, yesterday would have potentially given you a signal because volatility finally approved. Now, this would be a lower risk trade because since cresting the baseline, we're a little bit past into the 3-bar rule, a little later into the 3-bar rule. I'd say we're 1, 2. So this would be 1/3 risk. This would be 1% risk. And that's good. Low sat coin, high volatility, low risk, worth the trade. And again, what are we seeing as far as its dollar value? It's holding its dollar value pretty good. And that's something that I've been talking about and telling people and kind of directing their attention toward. If you actually look at these alt USD pairs, you know, everybody's kind of looking at the alt BTC pair, which is fine if you're concerned about stacking sats. By the way, question of the day, is there a more annoying term than stacking sats? Let me know in the comment section down below. I hear it all over Twitter. I'm a dollar-based trader. Now, if you actually look at the alt to USD, which kind of strips the noise of BTC out as the intermediary, you can actually see that most of these altcoins are holding their value pretty well, regardless of what Bitcoin is doing, or bullish. Fashion God says, could you please show how to set up the baseline you use, the 30 period D? I have been known to use the 30 period D before, but sure, I'd love to show you how to set it up, my friend. You just, if you are a premium member, you would just add the baseline indicator that you have access to. If you don't, and once you've added the baseline indicator, you just go to settings, which by the way, we'll walk through that. I'm sure everybody in the group knows, but you just go into your indicator pane and you type in cracking. And you would select the baseline indicator. Once you have the baseline indicator on your chart, you just go set up a 30 period Donchium. If you don't have access to that, what you can do is you do the same thing, go to your indicator pane and type in cracking and bring up Ichimoku. Bring up CC Ichimoku and go to Ichimoku and unclick plot Tenkan, unclick plot Chiku, unclick plot Kumo, and change Kijun base length to 30. And boom, you got it. Thank you so much, Fashion God. Highly appreciated. I don't know if those guys, you know what, guys, Philson and agency, I don't know if those are necessarily more annoying. I'm looking for something, you know, like that people say all the time about cryptocurrency that's more annoying than stacking sats. For some reason, the term stacking sats is really annoying to me. I just hear it all the time. Maybe it's because I have bills to pay. I don't know. Could be that. I hear people say stacking sats, and I'm like, paying your bills those sats? Which, hey, if they are, more power to them. But you know, that's kind of the fine line. You know, I've got friends that are just pay all their bills and live off Bitcoin, and hell yeah, dude. We're just not there yet for most of us. Let's see here. As far as Ethereum goes, Ethereum is not even close to flipping bullish. In fact, overperforming Bitcoin again to the downside. Pretty decent. Not too bad. Mid sats, kind of hit and miss right here. Elf, Zem, and Via. Blocks is doing quite good. Fuel is doing pretty decent for me. Storm's a low sat, so it can move one sat and it doesn't matter. And Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, I mean, guys, listen, I'm short dollar pairs right now. Short dollar pairs. Satoshi Nakafomo, what's up, my friend? All right, guys, we got 3 minutes left. We're going to take a quick break, guys. So before we take the break, here we go. I want to talk about something. San Francisco Blockchain Week. The one, the only event. It happens once a year, guys. Once a year. And to be honest with you, we don't have a whole lot of events like this where we can really meet with some good influencers, hear good information, and get away from kind of the Twitter noise and shitcoin trader and blah, 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 YouTube noise. So I'm really looking to recharge my batteries, looking to speak to some interesting influencers, to some good friends that I haven't seen in a long time, and just have a lot of fun, especially meeting you guys live as well. If you guys are interested in attending San Francisco Blockchain Week, it runs October 31st to November 1st. That's going to be for Epicenter. Now, you also have CESC, which runs October 28th through the 29th as well. And then on the 30th, we're going to have the Blockchain Expo, or the Blockchain Career Fair at UC Berkeley there in San Francisco as well. So we're going to be there. We're going to be there for the whole week. Come on out. Let us see your faces. Meet up with us. We're gonna have some fun on Wednesday. Gonna give away some stuff as well. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So if you guys are interested in attending San Francisco Blockchain Week, there is a link down in the description below. I don't know why it says cracking stars at the end, but that's the link that they gave us. That link will save you 15% off any ticket purchase that you want as well. And let us know. Make sure to let us know if you are going to attend. Again, that link will save you 15% off. Link is in the description. CESC is sold out. Oh my dear goodness. But you guys can attend Epicenter. So looking forward to seeing you guys there. Again, link will save you some money if you guys want to purchase your tickets to Epicenter. And we're going to take a quick break right now, guys. We will not be gone for too long. So while we're gone, do some push-ups, do some squats. I always like the deep knee bends. And get some coffee, guys, because we're going to hit the markets hard and the news events when we come back. So don't go anywhere. What's up, guys? And we are back with some iced coffee. We got Mississippi grog in the house this morning. Okay. Now, where were we? What'd you wonderful people say while I was gone? Go get a McRib. Entrails. Delicious. Loving it. Slather more barbecue sauce on that for me, please. Let's talk about the news, guys. We've got some interesting things coming up. And actually, let's go over to the news desk. Here we are in the news desk. Big difference, isn't it? I'm over here now. Wait, over here. Everything's backwards. Moving right along. Let's talk about Libra. I don't think we talk about Libra enough. All right, now let's actually, you know what? Let's see if we can't do this. There we go. Just a second, guys. So according to Libra's co-creator and managing director, the project may consider a fundamental change to how its planned global payment system will now operate. Now, Reuters reported on Sunday that David Marcus, individual I was just referencing, while speaking at a banking seminar, mentioned the possibility of dropping the idea of a synthetic stablecoin. Basically, a single Libra token originally was designed to be pegged to a basket of fiat currencies and government bonds to be used internationally across the partner network. Now, however, the idea has been scaled back to instead just issue a number of individual coins pegged to national fiat currencies such as the dollar, the pound, the euro, suitable for their respective regions. And Marcus told the panel, quote, "We could definitely approach this with having a multitude of stable coins that represent national currencies in a tokenized digital form. That is one of the options that should be considered." And let's talk about what this really is. One of the biggest fears that kind of came out from, one of the big reasons why governments were scared of this, and one of the issues that we actually floated around, was that if Libra kind of achieved its aim here and got huge widespread adoption of the Libra across borders, across different nations. It's being utilized by individuals living in the UK. It's utilized by people living in the Eurozone. It's utilized by people in North America. It's utilized by people in East Asia. If it got this widespread global adoption, then what Libra could essentially do is kind of manipulate fiat currencies, basically the Forex market. And large commercial banks and institutional banks said, "No, sir, that is our job. If anybody's going to be manipulating the Forex markets, it's going to be us," because that is what they do. The Forex markets are 100% manipulated and run by the large banks. And what we, so the big pushback was this concept of a basket of currencies, because, Libra could simply say, well, we are increasing the basket of dollars, because dollars are now, we feel that dollars are worth more than than pounds now. And that would, in a sense, value the dollar over the pound, and the market would react to that. So again, this all comes down to the big banks saying that, whoa, buddy, if anybody's going to be manipulating price, it's going to be me. Now, Marcus went on to clarify that this new path isn't necessarily Libra's desired option. Of course it's not. They wanted to do the basket of fiat currencies. But that the project needs to be agile. And by agile, he means we need to get this thing approved. So we need to push it past government. And the only way we're going to do that is if we allow governments to have their own manipulation of their own currency. And so we're just going to create Libra dollars, Libra pounds, Libra euros, Libra yen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, this is, of course, presumably mostly due to the sweeping condemnation of the Libra project by regulators from across the globe, citing Libra's threat to financial stability and monetary policy and and potentially facilitating financial crimes, which, of course, is the flag they always wave. It's going to facilitate terrorism. You know, the United States is the largest investor in terrorism across the world. Anyways, while lawmakers across the globe, from the United States to the EU, have demanded that Libra's launch be blocked until these fundamental issues have been addressed, Libra, for its part, remains dedicated to their 2020 launch roadmap, pushing back on claims that it represents a threat to the monetary sovereignty of nations, and insists on working with regulators to address concerns while trailblazing a new path during this fintech revolution. Now, as to the specifics behind why Libra would change the scope of the project away from the fiat basket model toward regional tokens was not immediately addressed by Marcus. Of course, we have our thoughts on this channel. Now, among possible reasons, however, being speculated across the broader market was that a reserve backing the Libra tokens in the form of a basket fund could be classified as a security and therefore fall under the domain of regulators like the SEC. Now, in comment to this, former CFTC Commission Chairman Gary Gensler made the argument in July saying that, quote, as currently proposed, the Libra Reserve in essence is a pooled investment vehicle that should at a minimum be regulated by the SEC, with the Libra Association registering as an investment advisor. Now, this follows another recent setback for the project, obviously, that we talked about, when a number of financial heavy hitters, such as Visa and MasterCard, stepped back from the project earlier this month, not long after being sent letters from U.S. lawmakers threatening regulatory reprisals if they did not do so. So let me clarify that into more direct terms. If you do not understand that the United States governments or banks have a dedicated interest to manipulating their own currency, and they're not very open to the idea of other individuals manipulating the currency, the senators from the United States, Congress, sent letters to Visa and MasterCard saying, hey, and it was a veiled threat. There's no other way to describe it. You can just Google search for them. You can find them. The Twitters are out there all over the place. The screenshots of these messages in no uncertain terms, saying that, hey guys, gosh, it'd be great if you guys were really careful about your association with Libra. I mean, we'd hate for anything bad to happen to you. Wink, wink. This is absolutely blatant. There's no justice in this. There's no justice against government in this modern world, at least not very much. But that is blatant malfeasance. That is blatant market manipulation, attempting, and that is one of the most unethical things. Governmental power is not supposed to be directed at the open market. We are supposed to have a free market that is disentangled from government intervention, and ideally as much government regulation as possible, because government regulation doesn't solve anything. Government regulation only makes things worse, especially for the end retail user. Atlas shrugged, guys. Now, despite all the regulatory uncertainty, as I said, Libra is sticking to its launch date of 2020, sticking to that pretty hardcore, with David Marcus telling Reuters, quote, we'll see. That's still the goal. It's not entirely up to us, which, of course, it's not. It really depends on their ability to, hop, step, skip, and jump over these regulators' hoops. Now, of course, regulators are still coming at them with a burning passion. As I've said before, I do think that something like Libra is going to succeed. I do think that we are going to see a highly successful corporate coin. And I think that we're unfortunately going to see all of the negativity that goes along with that. I think we're going to see all the convenience of cryptocurrency. We're going to get, listen, here's the thing, man. We're going to get all these, individuals. And again, I don't want to just be really negative. I'm not trying to be like some kind of, I'm not trying to be overly negative to the space, but here's the thing. You have all of these people that have come out against Bitcoin Core and have said that we need Bitcoin to be able to purchase our coffee. We need Bitcoin to be able to scale. We need Bitcoin to be frictionless. Okay? And I think they've missed the forest for the trees. I get their points. I get their arguments, and I'm with them. But unfortunately, I don't think that they're seeing the larger picture, which is the unconfiscatable aspect of Bitcoin, the security of the Bitcoin Core network, and all the development that's gone into it, as well as the wide-ranging support that it has. It is kind of the best chance that we've ever had to pull power away from governments in a real way. And it's going to take time and it's going to take effort, and the price will naturally follow. Again, in investment, my philosophy has always been buy value and hold it forever. Always buy value, because if you buy something that's valuable, it doesn't matter what price you buy it at. Eventually, the market will see it's valuable. So when I'm investing in stocks, I buy things cheap. I buy high value stocks that have recently tumbled in price. I look for opportunities. I look for buying opportunities. I invest in stocks exactly the same way Warren Buffett advises people to buy in stocks. Buy when other people are afraid, buy when other people are selling, and sell when other people are buying and greedy, right? You should be, when everybody's crying, you should be buying. When everybody's yelling, you should be selling, right? It works in stocks. Doesn't work in trading. That's not how I trade. Doesn't work in trading. Not trying to hold trades for multiple months. But when I'm looking to invest my capital and invest my wealth and grow my wealth, grow my net asset value over time, you buy things that are valuable when they're cheap. And Bitcoin is valuable and Bitcoin is cheap. But unfortunately, these people are going to get what they want. The world is going to get what they want. People get what they deserve, often, unfortunately. And we are going to get what we want. We're going to get a frictionless cryptocurrency-ish that is almost instantaneous, that is extremely convenient, that has third-party custody, that you don't have to worry about losing your private keys, that you can call up customer service and be like, hey man, I must have got my address wrong. I just lost all my Libra. No problem, sir. We'll reverse that transaction right away. No problem. We're going to get that. Everybody out here that wants to whine and cry about all the flaws of Bitcoin and its drawbacks and its, UI and all this stuff, like that's the most massive issue. Like having an unconfiscatable currency that is, again, uncensorable and unconfiscatable by the government, because we don't know what the government's going to make illegal tomorrow. People totally don't represent that, I think, in the aspect that they should, or to the degree that they should. And everybody just wants to talk about convenience. Oh, well, Bitcoin will never scale to Visa, MasterCard, blah, 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 PayPal. You just use Bitcoin as a settlement layer. Safety and Amos has said this so succinctly, so well. I mean, all the evidence is out there. All the information is out there. And the historical examples are out there of why Bitcoin is vital, of why it's important. But unfortunately, people are going to get what they asked for. People are going to get what they want. We're going to get a frictionless, centrally controlled cryptocurrency. Did your guys' phone go crazy like that? And we're going to see the dark side of a centrally controlled frictionless currency. But it is going to be in that darkness that the true power of Bitcoin as an uncensorable, unconfiscatable currency will come to light and receive its next leg. So again, price will naturally follow value. Bitcoin is valuable. Bitcoin is cheap. All right, guys, let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section down below or in the live chat. We do have, don't make me play some live footage of the chat section right now. All right, let me give you guys an update on Bitfinex here, guys. All right, so this is according to the latest court filings. Bitfinex's parent company, which is Finex Incorporated, has filed for discovery in regards to the $880 million seized from the exchange and its partner companies by authorities. So remember, if we go back in time a little bit, to the whole Bitfinex fiasco. And again, if you guys have not seen my Bitfinex and Tether FUD video explained by a professional trader. Make sure to go check that out. It's one of the more popular videos here on our YouTube channel. It's gotten a lot of views, and for good reason. It's where I go down and I break down all the court documents and court filings, and tell my side of the story as far as what the evidence seems to suggest. So according to according to what we know that Bitfinex lost about $880 million and then plugged that hole by taking money from Tether, right? Did not have the money to pay it back, although they paid it back on paper, but of course there was no actual funds because they didn't have access to the funds. They used the funds that they had lost, and according to Crypto Capital Corporation, which was the payment processor that they were using, the third-party payment processor, again, whole lot of shady stuff with Crypto Capital Corporation, ties to Panamanian drug cartels, ties to a lot of illegal activity. They were the exchange that was, or excuse me, they were the payment processor that also handled Quadriga CX's funds. Again, the exchange that, exit scammed, I think is a good word for it, although there's a lot of shady activity or a lot of shady news. And again, I know a lot of people that lost a lot of money when Quadriga CX went down, a lot of my friends in Canada. And so I have a particular pet interest, I guess, in calling out scandal and fraud and malfeasance wherever I see it, because I think that improves the space when we call things out for what they are. And anyways, the kind of the scuttlebutt or the speculation was that Crypto Capital Corporation had the $880 million seized by authorities in several different countries, including the United States, Portugal, and Spain, I believe. And we can only speculate as to whether that was true or not. But now Bitfinex is really pushing that narrative forward more because they have filed, again, as I just said, for discovery in regards to this $880 million that was seized from the exchange. It really wasn't seized from the exchange. It was seized from Crypto Capital Corporation's bank accounts. And again, the funds were being held by Crypto Capital at the time on behalf of Bitfinex, and they were seized by the FBI amid allegations of illegal banking practices, according to Bitfinex's filings right here. So again, this is all from Bitfinex's tail of the tape. So now, late last week, iFinex filed and requested the disclosure of evidence concerning the seized funds, maintaining that the assets were legitimately procured and wrongly seized by authorities in the United States. Now, the subpoena request will allow Bitfinex to attempt recovery of their lost funds and aid the non-U.S. entity in their litigation with domestic authorities. Now, so far, Bitfinex has been unable to access the capital since December of 2018, which led to the Leo IEO, which was nothing but a massive scam, claiming that its bank accounts in Poland, Portugal, UK, and the United States were seized due to illegal action by U.S. authorities. They are saying that this was all the result of the United States. Now, Bitfinex did see some relief recently in the ongoing litigation with the New York Attorney General's office, in which the judge did suspend an earlier order requiring the plaintiff, that is Bitfinex, to cooperate by submitting documents to the prosecutors, which did grant Bitfinex some operational privacy while they seek their motion to dismiss, which is still active in the court. Now, all along, Bitfinex has argued that it never served any customers in New York. Therefore, any judicial action on behalf of the New York Attorney General's office is unwarranted, despite seeming evidence to the contrary that has been submitted by the New York Attorney General's office. However, that is honestly an area where, on a technicality, because the New York Attorney General's office doesn't really have that strong of a case as far as proof goes, but it just depends. It depends on what the judge says. Obviously, the judge has seen some weakness in their case, which is, kind of odd, because generally the New York Attorney General's office, or any Attorney General's office, the United States, the federal government has a 95% conviction rate, because they don't move unless they have a lock solid case. So it's very rare. It's almost always technicalities where the government loses in court. Now, this entire filing is centered around a deposition taken from Rondell Monroe, who is the vice president of TCA Investment Bancorp. And this is the company, this is the company which had custody of nearly $300 million of Bitfinex's seized capital. Now, TCA held Bitfinex's funds under an entity known as Spiral Global Development Limited, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Reginald Fowler. It's wholly owned by Reginald Fowler, who is the CEO of Crypto Capital Corporation. And Reginald Fowler was arrested. There is a lot of allegations of malfeasance. There's some baseball scandals going on there. The whole thing is murky. Now, TCA claims that they were unaware of Fowler's connection to Crypto Capital until December 2018. Bitfinex So hold on. So let's break that down. So Rondell Monroe is the vice president of TCA Bancorp, had about $300 million of Bitfinex's seized capital when it was seized by authorities. Now, TCA had a subsidiary called Spiral Global Development, which was wholly owned by Reginald Fowler. And TCA claims they were unaware of Fowler's connection to crypto capital. None of that makes any sense. That makes absolutely no sense. So Bitfinex, let's hope we get a little bit of clarity on that, because they're saying that, yeah, man, these fuckers, Jesus. Now, Bitfinex appears to be fairly confident in their ability to convince the courts that they were not complicit or aware of any wrongdoing on behalf of Reginald Fowler and crypto capital. So basically what they're saying is that, hey, we weren't in cahoots with this Reginald Fowler. That is a, Reginald Fowler was a bad actor all on its own. Yeah, we didn't know about him. He wasn't, listen, we don't even know this dude over here. Not our buddy, not our homie. And you guys took our money, which were in a company that he was running, which was a subsidiary of the company that we actually wanted to hold our money, which was a subsidiary of another company that we actually wanted to hold our money. And he did some bad stuff. So he was involved in some illegal activity. So that's why you guys seized the money that were in the company that he held. But that's actually our money. So if you could just bring that back, no problem. If we could just get that money back, that would be great. This is ridiculous. Now, Bitfinex, as I said, appears to be confident in their ability to convince the courts that they were not complicit or aware of any wrongdoing on behalf of Reginald Fowler or crypto capital. Now, while Bitfinex is trying to put up a strong defense here, with $880 million on the line, there is a lot at stake for both Bitfinex and investors in the Leo token. Remember, if Bitfinex, let's run through this very quickly. I want to just run through this really quickly. There is a nearly $1 billion hole that has not been plugged. It has been plugged from investors' pockets. All right, so let's talk about that really, really quick. Bitfinex has already done this in the past. When Bitfinex got hacked, Bitfinex basically had an IEO. Okay, Bitfinex had an IEO, and they did the Tether thing, and they raised the money and they repaid investors. The same concept with Leo, okay? The same concept with Leo. Bitfinex reached out to the community and said, please, we lost $880 million, patch this hole for us, and we will pay you back. That's basically what they did. Now, if they do not recover this $880 million, there's no hole to patch. They did it before with Tether, I think, through blatant manipulation of the price. I don't think they're going to be able to manipulate themselves another $1 billion. There's too many eyes on Bitfinex right now. There's too many eyes on iFinex. They don't have a lot of wiggle room. And again, I don't want to be overly critical of Bitfinex. It sucks the position that they're in. I think they got hoodwinked. And again, go check out my video to kind of get a full idea of really how I feel about the situation. I think that, Bitfinex has done good things for the space, but right now they're not. And they've just been backed into a corner because they tried to walk that fine line between fiat on-ramping and being away from traditional banking structures. And again, you can kind of see I really do sympathize with one kind of strain of argumentation here, which is that this is just blatant attacks on Bitcoin from government and government entities. And I actually do think that's probably true. There is a lot of incentive here for regulators and for federal agencies to attempt not to shut Bitcoin down, but just to keep it in check, just to throttle it. And they're using Bitfinex as a proxy for that. But Bitfinex put themselves in this position, and they were the ones who chose to do malfeasant things. They were the ones who chose to do malfeasant things. Right? They weren't upfront. They weren't honest because they didn't want to jeopardize the price of Bitcoin, because they are beholden to their investors and they are beholden to their own holdings in Bitcoin's price. Again, Bitfinex is a cryptocurrency trading exchange, and you've got thousands and thousands of people whose livelihood depend on Bitcoin's price. Depend on Bitcoin's price. So they're not going to do anything negative to affect Bitcoin's price, and I get why they did that, but they still did the wrong thing. They lied. They took money. They moved it around. They played the shell game bullshit. And once you cross that line from ethical actor into non-ethical actor, I'm done with you. And I will call you out. And redemption is possible, but difficult. Very, very difficult. So, Bitfinex had $880 million. They gave it to Crypto Capital Corporation to be their payment processor. Crypto Capital Corporation had those funds seized, according to Bitfinex, due to the illegal activity of Reginald Fowler, which was not their bad. And now that money is being held by the FBI. And now Bitfinex is petitioning the United States government to get that money back. Well, the court system in the United States, anyways, to get that money back. Good luck. And they patched the hole by doing the Leo IEO. $1 billion raised. A little bit more, actually, from the Leo IEO. So all Leo investors are holding $1 billion worth of a completely useless token. Completely useless token. Nothing happening with Leo. It is an IOU from Bitfinex. And if they're not able to recover the funds, as I said, they're not getting the money back. And again, I don't think they're going to be able to manipulate $1 billion out of thin air again. Fool me once. Now, again, yeah, so Leo was launched as a means of bridge financing for the company until they regain access to their seized funds. Now, the exchange promised to burn a proportional amount of Leo relative to how much they were able to get back from regulators. So ideally, they burn a substantial amount of Leo, the price goes up, investors are paid back. But again, that's really foggy right there. That's really foggy. Okay, so let me know what you guys think. Am I being too hard on Bitfinex? Am I hitting the nail on the head? Do you guys agree, disagree? Going over to Engadget. We haven't covered a lot from Engadget, but again, this is something that's a couple of the team members are pretty excited about. So after first teasing the device earlier this year, HTC has detailed its new, more affordable Exodus, the first blockchain smartphone. Now, the highlight feature of this device is that it can function as a Bitcoin full node. This means the phone is able to validate and transmit Bitcoin transactions independent of a centralized third-party node. So no more Electrum, no more Mycelium, no more any Bitcoin wallet that would be on your mobile unable to validate its own node. This is the HTC Exodus is able to run its own full node and validate transactions all on its own. In this way, you don't need to go through an exchange to buy and sell Bitcoin. Likewise, the phone can also be used to trade, lend, and borrow the cryptocurrency. Now, the way HTC puts it, what separates this from other smartphones is that you can operate your own decentralized bank out of your pocket, which was the dream. That's the dream, guys. Come on, we can do this. At least that's the idea. Now, while it's not intensive as mining Bitcoin, running a full node still requires a lot of computational power. In fact, HTC recommends only using the feature while the phone is connected to Wi-Fi and plugged into its power adapter. Still a huge step, right? Still a huge step. Now, the company also plans to roll out full node support to the original Exodus 1 as well. Now, the ones can also store the entire Bitcoin ledger. So you're not running a segregated... you're not doing any pruning. You can actually run the entire ledger. To take advantage of this aspect of the phone, you will need a micro SD card with at least 400 gigabytes of storage, which of course is going to be sold separately. Now, at the moment, the ledger takes up approximately 260 gigabytes as of recording. Of course, this is October 21st, 2019, and it's currently growing at a rate of about 60 gigabytes per year. Now, you do, of course, need the entire ledger to verify and relay transactions without a third party, without going through a subnode. That's a very important start. This is a very important start to getting the power of Bitcoin and other crypto payments in the hands of second and third world citizens without banking systems in place or with governments hyperinflating the local currency, etc. So even though it's unlikely that this high value phone will be mass distributed against second and third world countries, just a few of them in key locations heavily decentralizes the network. And allows individuals that are currently connecting through light wallets on their mobiles, which is generally how second and third world countries are connecting. And to be quite honest with you, how a lot of first world countries are connecting. Very few people actually run their own full node. And that's unfortunate. Running full nodes fully decentralizes the system. And when you can run your full node from your mobile phone, as technology gets better, it will be easier and easier. And there are all kinds of technologies that Bitcoin Core developers are working with to actually reduce and prune down the size of the blockchain so that you can run a pruned version of the blockchain. Basically, the way this works, or the most common version, the most popular, and the one that I ascribe to, is basically you start your node validation from zero, use the block headers to run the chain all up to the beginning, and then all you need is the current block, because of course in the header is embedded all the previous transactions, and you can just validate that one against all the other nodes basically at that time. And that lets you know that starting from this point, I know that my node's good. I know that it's validated with all the other nodes out there as well. We all have consensus, we all agree. And now moving forward, so you can significantly reduce, you can basically start from 0 bytes, right? You can have like whatever the first block there is, and then you can just build from there. It's a very common, popular pruning method. Ethereum does that as well. In fact, that's pretty much all Ethereum nodes out there. There's maybe 3 actual Ethereum full nodes out there, for the love of God. And even a lot of mining nodes for God's sakes are not running the entire Ethereum ledger. Math, make America think harder. So I think this is absolutely huge. And this is also going to inspire Samsung and other phone developers as well to get on this train. And of course, we have Apple introducing the development kit for Bitcoin and Ethereum onto their phone development kit, and we have Samsung as well, which has launched development tools for Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is absolutely huge, man. And we have the news, the new Samsung Galaxy having cryptocurrency on there. So this is the dream. More technology like this will bring us to an area where the government will be unable to shut Bitcoin down. Especially, let's jump forward into the future a little bit. Obviously it might take some time for Bitcoin to get where we want, but let's get to the point where we are not mining Bitcoin anymore and we're just processing transactions. Eventually, with the improvement of processor speed, with the improvement of technology, you'll be able to do that all from your phone. You won't need to run massive, huge power consuming mining networks. You'll be able to just mine from your phone, just like it was back in the day. Unfortunately, the growth of the network has outpaced the growth of technology. But again, especially with things like quantum technology, especially with all these concepts that we will see eventually over the next 50 to 100 years, absolutely. Again, we're going to see, listen, in 50 years, guys, and I'll still be alive in 50 years, the world is going to be so different because we are moving toward massive singularities. And I borrow that term because I don't really mean the singularity, but we're moving towards singularities in nanotechnology, genetics, robotics, and quantum technology. Any one of those four things, nanotechnology, genetics, robotics, and quantum technology, any one of those things are going to massively revolutionize the way that we live life on this earth in a way that we have never, ever, ever seen before. Bitcoin's going to be right there along with it. Bitcoin is going to be one of the first to adopt this new technology. That's why I don't care. Everybody's like, quantum computing is going to break Bitcoin. No, it's not. It's going to be used to make Bitcoin even better. So this is huge. Run out and put in your order for the new HTC Exodus. And let's see here. Good job, guys. And I think we're gonna hold these stories for tomorrow. I wanted to talk about Ripple. I wanted to talk about Circle. I wanted to talk about Bittrex. These are really, really good. So let's just hold these for tomorrow. That's already 136. So let's get back over into the main show charting. And get back into the market. All right, starting to get a little bit of bullish follow through, but again, not allowed to take the short on the hourly. From a technical perspective, full local node on a mobile device is going to allow some fancy developer ideas to be deployed. Yes, it will. Never going to make it. 5G is a death sentence. I don't know. I honestly don't know too much about the issue. I've researched 5G a little bit. I've heard the pros. I've heard the cons. We don't know yet. I would say that here's the thing. I know that 5G is much tighter bandwidth, so it's supposedly is much more of a threat to human biology, but we're going to figure that out pretty quickly. And we've had Wi-Fi and lasers bouncing around for a long time, man. But unfortunately, high technology computers. So we'll see where we close. We're at 81.67. $10 more to the downside. We close $11 more to the downside. We'd be able to take a full. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. About a 1% risk short. When you are not allowed to take a short on the hourly, what's the lowest you think of is acceptable for legit? So again, it has nothing to do with price. It has nothing to do with price. It has to do with where price is in relationship to the baseline or the indicators. And in this case, we're above the baseline, so we're not allowed to look for shorts. Now, again, in your strategy, you might not be using the baseline. We do have traders that don't use the baseline, and that's fine. I think that you definitely should. And then I think, over time, you can optimize your strategies, not use one. It's definitely there to help you it's definitely there to help you not take losing trades. Now, it's possible that, as you progress through the course, as you progress in knowledge, that you can, that you're going to be able to have a lower hit rate, but that your risk management is tight and disciplined enough that that's okay. That you are able to reduce your losses because you have a well-defined early exit strategy, and that you're able to reduce because you are consistently position sizing. Unfortunately, in my experience, a lot of traders coming in, a lot of newer traders, especially to the PTP system, they don't have all those things locked down. They need, they need time, they need experience to get their execution locked in so that it's just second nature, position sizing correctly, using the calculator, entering the trade, risk management, done. Most, I don't want to say most, unfortunately. I don't want to say most, but there is a good number of traders who come in and we do things very, very differently from what you hear from other channels. We start with focusing on position sizing. We start with focusing on risk management, and that's new to people. So they need to get in the habit of that. So again, the baseline is there to help prevent losses. It's in my system. It's in my official system, but we do have some traders that don't use it, and that's fine. But I think it's absolutely essential, especially as a new trader. I think you should be using a baseline for a year or two. Not sure what the appeal of 5G is, given that an Ethernet cord is faster, better privacy, and not hazardous to human cells. But then again, my computer doesn't even have an Ethernet port, so. Furry Boffin says no threat, and I'll tell you what, man. That's the smartest person in the room. Furry Boffin is absolutely, definitely the smartest person in the room. Says there is no mechanism for 5G to kill us. All right, bring it in. Just set up a 5G radio tower right next to me. I want the speed. Eli back. Thank you so much, my good friend, for the $5 donation. Thank you so much for the love, my friend. He says, thank you for another great, or he says, hey, another great stream. Yes, and you, another great man, another great day. Let's get some love going on here, man. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. Much love to you, my brother. Trees, bees, and mystery disease. Basically, here's my thought. We're obviously dealing in a completely different realm because we're talking about technology and we're talking about kind of affecting human biology, which is somewhat of a different subject. Here's the thing. We don't know what a lot of these, we have some of the smartest scientists in the world, but again, we have to understand that science doesn't understand a lot of the fundamental aspects of reality. Does that mean that, we should be spiritualist about things? No, absolutely not. But again, there's no problem with that. Again, everybody's entitled to spiritual beliefs. There's nothing wrong with that. But when we're looking at what we understand about the fundamental nature of reality, there's a lot that we don't know, man. There's just a lot that we don't have figured out. And so, I say all that just to say this, man. Would it be absolutely amazing if we fully understood, like, for example, I have family members who like won't come to my house because I have Wi-Fi, right? I have a couple of those people in my family. Perhaps you guys have a couple of people in your family too. And listen, I agree with them. I totally understand where they're coming from. But here, why did I lose that? Forgot that light bulb. But at the end of the day, man, you're right. We don't know some of these long-term health effects of some of the technology that we're using and that we're implementing on a massive scale. And is that concerning? Absolutely. But here's the problem. Humanity has always just plowed right ahead with new technology with no concern for anything else. The printing press, blockchain, credit cards, internet, you literally think vaccines, antibiotics. Studies were done, samples were taken. But again, look at some of the sample sizes of government studies that are passed off as representative of the American population or of any population. Just like, they surveyed 10, 20,000 people, and that's being generous. There are millions of people in this country. How can you take, no, it doesn't work. I know you get, we took a couple black people and a couple white people and a couple Hispanic people and all this. And, this guy was a Democrat and this guy's a Republican and this guy had blood pressure. And I understand that there are ways to do that better than others when we're talking about statistical data sets. But when you're looking at the impact, things like the impact of technology on humanity, we just don't have answers to these questions, and we're not going to, because essentially, would it be great if we did like fully, we studied the stuff for 100 years or for 20 years and fully understood, we sampled millions of people and we truly understood how this stuff would affect, the human society, or, again, like let's talk about children nowadays in first world countries and their absolute generally obsession with electronic devices. Right? YouTube, Twitch, all of these things that kids have become absolutely addicted to, things like TikTok, things like Musical.ly, all that stuff, Instagram, all of this technology in the hands of kids, which again, people from my generation are like, oh, you darn kids are always in that freaking Instagram and blah, blah, blah. Just like when I was a kid, my parents were like, oh, you darn kid, you're just in that text messaging all the time. So we don't really, human society is always just driven right off the rails with new technology, man. There's been no consideration. We never do big sample sizes. We never do big tests because that's just not how we do things. Like, we're not a hive mind species. We're very much a primate species that got to where we are because one of us picked up a big rock and we're like, oh, rock bash head. And then everybody was like, oh, rock bash head. And then, somebody was like, oh, bigger stick, longer reach, bash head better. And then, everybody was like, oh, bigger stick. And then it just went from there. They didn't like sit down. They were like, oh, bigger rock. But okay, is that good for my tendonitis? If holding rock, bash head better, will I get carpal tunnel? We didn't think about that. We were just like, oh, look at this. Adopting this technology now will give me a higher chance of survival right now in current conditions. And right now, access to the best technology, access to the faster technology, access to the bigger, better thing is what gives you a better chance right now in today's society. And generally people focus on right now and not, the long-term effects or the health effects of what they're going to do. For example, like look at what like professional bodybuilders, look what professional athletes do to their body. They don't know, what that's going to do to them when they're in their 40s or 50s. They push their body to the next level because they're worried about, again, burning brightly right now. And that's how humanity has always been. All right. So yeah, would it be absolutely fantastic if we actually stepped back as society and understood the long-term ramifications, not only health-wise, but emotionally and psychologically? For example, like we don't know, I have a firm belief that all of this, that a lot of this TikTok, Musical.ly, desensitization of children to violence, to sexuality, that's my big thing, is desensitizing children to sexuality, is going to have really negative implications for them. That's why I've raised my children differently. I have taught them the value of things and tried to not allow them to become desensitized to these things that modern society is absolutely desensitizing children to: sexuality and violence, and capriciousness and lethargicness and nihilism. It's absolutely rampant in our society. And I've tried to raise my children with love and hope and peace and dignity and respect and care for another person, because I think that's what makes people better people. And I think gives people more rewarding and fulfilling lives. It's been a difficult journey to find those plateaus for myself. But anyways, it'd be nice if if we as a society just step back and we're like, all right, let's talk about this 5G thing, man. Let's talk about this quantum computing thing. Let's talk about antibiotics in the food or whatever. Because again, if you look at antibiotic resistant bacteria, is going to be one of the most massive threats to human society. We are, I mean, literally, maybe people aren't aware of this, but we are reaching a point with the virility, not viral, but virility, the strength of antibiotic resistant bacteria, where we might be re-entering into an age where simple cut scratches, if they get infected, antibiotics won't work, where human beings can again die from simple wounds. You know, this whole area where antibiotics helped people, unfortunately, because we charged blindly forward with technology without thinking about the ramifications of what we're doing. We just dumped antibiotics into everything. We dumped antibiotics into chicken. We dumped antibiotics into animal feed. We dumped antibiotics into milk. We dumped antibiotics into freaking water in some places. We dumped antibiotics into you just come in, you got a cut, you got an infection, you got a virus, for the love of God. They're just shoving antibiotics at you. Now, again, I'm not like an anti-vaxxer or anything like that. I absolutely believe in medical science. But my point is we are well aware that our approach to antibiotics has not been good for human society overall, because now that's put us in a place where we have abused this privilege, we have abused this technology, we overused it, and now we've allowed antibiotic resistant bacteria to become strong and push us toward, again, entering into a different era. Now, maybe nanotechnology can help with that. Maybe for the love of, I don't know what's going to help with that. Again, this is not my field of speciality, but I would say that in that realm, nanotechnology and robotics are probably going to be the best there. But yeah, that's just not how humans are, man. And I don't think we're ever going to change, at least for a long time, because it takes millions and millions of years to have biological evolution, right? Of course, unless you subscribe to punctuated equilibrium, which is the idea that we do not evolve slowly over millions of years, is that we pretty much stay static for millions of years and things churn and bubble, and then all of a sudden you have a huge growth spurt of evolution. That's one of the explanations for the Cambrian explosion, actually, where we have basically no fossil life for all recorded history, basically everything we can uncover under this level of the earth. And then all of a sudden, just this massive explosion. Some people say aliens, and some people say, miraculous creation, and blah, 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 blah. So anyways, that's a long rant, but yeah, human society is just not like that, man. So we're going to implement 5G. We're going to implement quantum computing. We're going to implement blockchain on your phone, and we're just going to charge blindly forward, man, just like we always have. And again, sometimes in life, the best saying is, saddle up, guys. Good luck. Because that's reality. Not a single moment is promised. Enjoy every minute and live gratefully, man. Try to be a decent person. Monster BSV pump. Good on you. Good on you. Good on you. Let's see here. You had a long signal here. Exit here. You had a long signal here. You actually would have gotten out. So you would have gotten this trip, not these two pumps. At least using minks in this fashion. What is my opinion about Greta? Oh man, you're trying to get me banned. This video is definitely being demonetized. To be honest with you, man, I don't really have a firm opinion, man. I don't really have a firm opinion. I don't really want to get into that whole climate change debacle. That's the hottest topic of our time, man. So I'll just leave that at everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and to thine own self be true, and be excellent to one another. All right. Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out and look at BSV here. Did I tell you guys what I was going for as, do you guys know what I'm going to go for as Halloween? I'm thinking about going as... it doesn't really work here, but... I was thinking about going for Halloween as a falling wedge. You know, just like... I think that'd be a good idea. My good friend Brett said I could ride in the parade and do the Elliott wave. Oh, thank you so much, Gui. Standing up against the man of YouTube. Wally, what's up, man? Now, on the daily, we kind of have that example of baseline versus non-baseline trading. So non-baseline trading, you could have gone long on BSV right back here at the open of the 15th, 2019, and up, and you'd still be in. Of course, you might run into examples where you're like, man, if I would not have been using a baseline, I would have caught that trade. But you're going to run into more where you're like, man, because I had a baseline on, I didn't take that bad trade. And that's the point. That's the point. That's the point. Satoshi Nakafomo, what's up, man? Did you leave? I never left. I was here the whole time. All right. Seeing some pretty good buybacks from the alts. Bitcoin is negative. Yesterday. And no, that's a loss. Yeah, right here. That was the last good long on FBTC. And we're going to be gearing up to short Ethereum Bitcoin pretty hard if it loses this level. But again, low volatility, we'll just wait, man. But volatility did pick up on yesterday's candle close. So if you're not trading with the baseline, you could by all rights be in an FBTC short. XRP, again, we were long on XRP. We caught the majority of this movement, tagged out yesterday at the daily close because we did get the exit signal. I am still looking for continuation on XRP at this point in time, not shorting XRP. Cardano, I'll be looking to short Cardano if we can get some momentum. We've been trading on very low volatility, so there's not really a whole lot of opportunity there. EOS as well, I'll be looking for shorts here pretty soon. TRX, I'm actually looking for continuation longs. Bitcoin Cash, again, kind of shooting up here with BSV. So we're going to see if this is a reactionary movement. I actually wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of trend from BCH. It's about time for BCH to make a move. And, you know, even though I'm not a big supporter, looking at BCH, I'd be looking to long Bitcoin Cash tonight. And, of course, Litecoin. I've talked about Litecoin. We can talk about the chart. On the Litecoin chart, we are bearish, and one would actually be looking for shorts on Litecoin. I am long on Litecoin from a fundamental perspective, and I'll continue to accumulate Litecoin around these levels unless we get a significant breakdown of this range. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Eli, I saw it pop up on my screen a few minutes ago, but I just saw the reminder there. Thank you. By the way, man, thank you so much for the $5 donation, my good friend. I feel like you probably feel like I completely ignored you, but I did not. Let's get it going. So much for the love. Thank you so much, my good friend. And what did you request? You said quick TA on ENJ. Thank you so much, my good friend. I think, you know, actually you threw $10, man, because I forgot. I am such a bad person at times. He says, I know it's super late, but a quick take of Engine Coin would be nice. Let's go check out that Engine Coin, man, just for you. Thank you so much for the support, for the continued support. And I'm sorry I missed that, man. This is not a coin I'd want to short. This This is not a coin I want along. Let's see if we can get dollar data on ENJ USD. So very similar. We can actually see that ENJ has been holding its price relatively well. We are in a downtrend at the moment, even though price is moving up. We have not breached the baseline at this point in time. Neither MIX nor CCI nor a volatility filter are giving us a long at this point in time. And of course, we are below the baseline. Let's go back and look at spot price. We can also see that I would believe, yeah, we haven't had a Heikinashi trend flip either. So, you know, Engine Coin, I like to see it reacting off the bottom right here. It does seem like it is responding to an area of you know, again, this whole area has been relatively demand. We are in a lazy consolidation area. Again, mostly low volatility. A couple few areas in here of decent volatility. Again, we could have taken this long right here, excuse me. Non-baseline trading. Again, this trade over here was a good one. This is a good trade for Engine Coin to the upside. So pretty much one good long, and we can't short Engine Coins. So non-baseline trading would have caught this one too. So two good trades, basically since August. Only two good trades since August. And we might be gearing up for another one, but we're just not there yet. We really need to see price above 733 sats at the current moment in time. You know, I don't think you're terribly wrong if you're trying to accumulate in this area. Let's go find us an order block. And we'll do a little bit of... Yeah. This 628 level is a lot better to me. This has been acting, so we can see here we form an order block between 628 and 615. We do break that level, it turns into a bullish breaker, and you, again, buying anything that retreats back into 628 has been a good thing. And then we have our bearish order block up at about 784. So pretty clear channel right here. Pretty low volatility. You can try and trade the channel if you want. Reversion to the mean strategy, something like the Bollinger Bands or something like the ATR Bands of volatility expander. So I would be more interested if I was trying to reversal trade this or tried to trade the range. I would be looking down at that 628, 615. Two daily candle closes below that level. I would be out because the risk of descension would be too much. But again, usually at that point, you do get a quick bounce back up. You get the opportunity to sell back at the bearish block at that point in time, because that becomes a bearish breaker at that point in time. Right now, it's a bullish breaker. If it breaks, it becomes a bearish breaker. Again, it becomes a bearish order block, depending on how you want to use your words here. And again, from a trending perspective here, I would be looking for price above 733. So we'll see. Let's give it a couple days. Let's see price. All of our indicators are negative right now, not giving us trades to the upside. In fact, we have expansion on yesterday's candle. On yesterday's close, would have given you a signal to actually short Engine Coin to the downside. So we'll see how that trade plays out at this point in time. But not something I'd be in at this point in time. Let's breach 733 and we'll revisit the subject. Otherwise, if I were looking for demand zones, I'd be looking at 628 or 615. But right now, I would expect to see rejection from that 733 level, which gives you about 20 sats to the upside, which is pretty good. And with that being said, guys, it is time. It is 2:01. So don't... Oh, we still have people dancing? I'm sorry, guys. I left the people dancing. So with that being said, guys, let's head on over. Boom. Hey, guys, thank you so much for joining me for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin. Of course, I have been your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor around these parts. I hope you guys go on to have an amazing day. Question of the day was, is there anything more annoying than saying stacking sats? Let me know in the comment section down below if you leave that comment as well. You can also leave a comment if you have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, or God forbid, death threats. Leave them in the comment section down below, and I will try to respond to you within the next 48 hours. That will also enter you for a chance to win some free cryptocurrency, because we do give away cryptocurrency to a random commenter on the YouTube channel every single day. If you guys like the show, if you like the content, make sure to give us a hand. Make sure to support the channel by subscribing and hitting the bell icon. If you are over there on YouTube, hitting the thumbs up helps the algorithm. If you're watching us on Twitch or DLive, make sure to give us a follow, maybe a subscription if you do want to support the channel in a better way. All goes toward making everything better. If you are a new, experienced, or aspiring trader, make sure to check out premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Second link in the description down below to see everything that the group can do for you. But regardless of what you do, make sure you hop in the Discord at discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com to keep up with the latest of what we're doing as a group and join the ever-growing community that we are starting to build. And it's been a wild ride, guys. Thank you guys so much for the support, for the love. Eli back, thank you so much for the $15, my good friend. Much love to you, my friend. All right, I will be back tomorrow at noon p.m. Central Daylight Time for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin. Trade safely, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow to crack some more cryptocurrency.